Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Can you hear me? Please confirm in the chat box. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your responses. Let's stop the chat. So this is a plan for our today's session. Today we'll understand about the next service called as RDS. Stands for Relational Database Service. Okay. So, and then if time permits, we'll also have a discussion about one more service called as Cloud Trial. So these are the two things which we are planning to learn today's session. So let's try to understand the concept of RDS. Okay. Now, what is RDS? Stands for Relational Database Service. When a client wants to have a database instance, okay, when a client wants to have web server, so what we are doing? Do you remember? When a client wants to have a web server, what we are doing? We are creating an EC2 machine, and we can install web server in that, isn't it? HTTPD, or we can install Tomcat, whatever you want. We can do that. If a client wants WebLogic, you can create an EC2 machine and install WebLogic, so it becomes an application server. Okay, so like this, basing on the software which you install on the EC2 machine, it is called as a web server, it is called as a application server. If a client wants a database instance, let's say for example, client wants an Oracle database or SQL Server database, what client can do is they can create an EC2 machine. Again, when you install Oracle in the EC2 machine, that becomes an Oracle database. Agree? It's up to you, isn't it? It's up to us how do we use this particular instances. If you create an EC2 instance and if you install Oracle, it becomes a database instance. If you install SQL Server, it is called as MySQL instance. So that's one approach. Okay, so creating an EC2 machine, installing the required database as per the requirements is one approach. That's also you can use it. Or there's a specialized services. Oracle AWS provides a specialized service called as an RDS. You can choose RDS service and then you can host Oracle whatever that database you want on RDS service. When the client selects RDS for hosting their databases, if they use this particular service rather than installing software on the EC2 machine, if they choose this RDS services, there are some advantages what the client gets. There are some advantages the client gets. There are three important advantages in case if in the interview anybody asks you about a service called as RDS, they may ask you what are the advantages the client gets when they choose this particular service called as an RDS. The advantage the client gets is three advantages. Number one, automated backups. When they use RDS database. Second advantage, multi-AZ feature, multi-availability zone feature. Second advantage. Third advantage, read replicas. So in the interview, if they ask about RDS, you have to speak about these advantages, what the client gets. You need to speak about these advantages, what the client gets. Okay. So first advantage is automated backups. Second advantage is multi-availability zone. Third advantage is read replicas. Okay. These are the three important advantages. Let's try to understand what is RDS. Okay. The service RDS stands for relational databases. The service stands for relational database service. Relational databases are what most of us are all used to. So when any client needs a database, isn't it? So relational database is something laid the data is stored in the form of tables, and these are some examples of relational database products. We have SQL Server, we have Oracle, MySQL, Postgre, Aurora, MariaDB. These are some of the relational databases. There are many more relational databases. Okay, so any database you can host it using the service. Any relational database you can host it using RDS. Okay, the advantage what the client gets. The advantage what the client gets when they use this service called as an RDS. Okay, is that number one, automated backups. Okay, automated backups allows you to recover the database at any point of time within a retention period. Automated backups is nothing but every day the backup will be taken by the RDS service automatically. DBS don't need to do that. Okay, so automatically backup will be taken every day, and this backup will be maintained for this backup. How many days this backup will be available? This backup will, that's called retention period. So the backup can be available within 1 day to 35 days. So it's up to your settings according to the options which you provide. How many days you want the backups to be maintained, those many days the backup will be maintained. And this is very important, right? Our backup, taking a backup of the database is very, very important, because in case if the database crashed, in case if the database gets crashed, you can recover it, isn't it? Using the backups. So that's very, very important. So the first advantage what the client gets is automated backups. Next point. Automatic backups will take full daily snapshots. Full daily snapshots. It's a full backup. And they also show transaction logs throughout the day. Okay. Transaction logs is nothing but every, let's say for example, once the backup is done. I'll explain. Example. Let's say every day at 9 p.m. RDS, relational database, is taking a full backup. Okay, full daily backup. Got it? So today there will be, today at 9 o'clock there will be one backup, but tomorrow at 9 o'clock there will be one backup, day after tomorrow, every day there will be a backup of 9 a.m. Let's say if the database is crashed, I think if there are any DBS, they can easily understand. If the database is crashed at 11 a.m., if the database is crashed at 11 a.m., so what is there at 9 o'clock? Full backup has taken, right? So using this particular backup, we can restore the database. But the problem is all the transactions that had happened between 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., this 2 hours of information is lost in case of full backup. Agree? Isn't it? So latest backup, you'll restore it. But what are the transactions happened from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, that will be lost. So to overcome this problem, there will be transaction logs. Every second, transaction logs will be backed up. Okay, so that's what you're mentioning here. Automated will take the full daily snapshots and also store transaction logs throughout the day. Transaction logs is nothing but after the backup, what are the transactions have been happened, everything will be logged. Everything is tracked. So when in case of the database crashes, so what the DBS will do, they will restore the latest full backup, and then they apply the transaction logs on top of the full backup, so that the database is restored, so that the database is not lost, the data is not lost. So this is called transaction logs. So It also takes transaction logs throughout the day, which helps you to recover it so that the data is not lost. So first, AWS will choose a recent daily backup, and then they apply transaction logs relevant to that particular day. Automated backups are enabled by default. You don't need to enable it. It is enabled by default. So this is the advantage. The advantage of our first advantage of RDS is automatic backups. If you take backup manually, it is called as snapshots. Manual backups are called as snapshots. Okay, manual backups are called as snapshots. This is about the first advantage of RDS. Okay. Yes, Dilip. Good morning. Yes, Dilip. Any question? Dilip, I can see your hand raised. Any question, please? Sorry, we cannot hear you. Yes, Vandana.
Yeah, thank you for taking my question. So my question is, here you mentioned that backup one time, once the automatic backup we take, so we can retain it from 1 day to
35 days.
35 days, right? So and
That
next,
number of days which you are planning to retain, that is called period.
yeah. So my question is, what will be the use case when we will be keeping it, want to keep it till 35 days? Because every day the backup will be there.
Yeah, not required. Okay, so generally nobody will maintain 35 days of backup, because anyways, in case if you're restoring, we are restoring it from the latest backup, isn't it, Vandana? So those many days of retention period, generally the default days is 7 days. Okay,
7 days,
generally
okay.
backup will be maintained for 7 days, and 8th day the backup will be lost. Okay,
So what is recommended duration of retention period?
7
Like
days. That's the
recommended
standard.
7 days. Okay, so
Yep.
it might be taking lot of spaces, like
Yeah, unnecessary. So 7 days is
unnecessary
enough.
payment and all. Okay. I have one quick more question.
Yeah.
Like as you mentioned, like if automatic backup we take, it is like every day take automatic backup. Then what will be the use case for snapshot? What will be the need of
No.
taking snapshot?
RDS provides both the options. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
One is
mm-hmm.
automatic backups in case if a DBA wants to manually take a backup. Okay. Let's say he wants to take a backup at a status of 10 a.m. Okay.
Okay,
Let's say he
okay.
wants to take a backup exclusively when the status of the database is at 10 a.m. Okay. Okay. So that how
Mm-hmm.
can that is possible? By taking the
Okay, maybe
backup
some
manually.
major transaction, maybe some major transaction
Maybe
happen,
some medium transactions has been
and
happened, or
then
maybe some changes, maybe some upgrade
hmm,
happened at that point of time. So he
okay,
wants to take a particular backup
sure,
after a particular milestone has achieved. So he wants to do. There should be an option for the DBS if they want to take a manual, whatever could be the reason they want to manual take a backup at a particular timestamp, that can be possible using manual backup.
sure, got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Likita Dama, I can see your hand raised. Cannot hear you. Check your mic settings. Hi, Sudhir.
Hey Sunil, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, hi, quick query on automated backups and DB snapshot.
Okay.
When we take DB snapshot,
Generally, we will not take DB snapshots. Actually, the DBS will take the DB snapshots. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Now let's say they have made some upgradations. They have installed some additional patches on the database. Once that activity has been completed, they want to mark that particular status of the database. In such case, they go for manual snapshots. As Vandana has asked the same question, Sudhir.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So let's say that for example, they have applied DBS. They have something called patches. They apply the patches. Immediately once the patches is applied, they want to save the status of the database at that point of time. They have to go for manual snapshots. Okay, manual backups.
Yeah, got
Okay,
it.
Sudhir.
Yeah.
And it is whose responsibility to manage the instances? It's purely the database administrators responsibility to manage the instances using the service called as an RDS.
Okay.
But we are not database administrators, isn't it? So that's the reason we are discussing on a high level how exactly RDS provide AWS solutions provides solutions for this RDS instances. If anybody asks you how exactly AWS provides a solution for this database tab, then you should be in a position to answer, isn't it? Okay,
Yes. Yeah, yeah, got it.
so that's important. Anything more, so there?
That's the same.
Thank you. Likita Dama, again, you are allowed to unmute yourself. I can see your hand raised, Likita. Okay. DB snapshots are done manually, that is user initiated. They are stored. They are stored even after deleting the original instance. Even the original instance is deleted, your snapshots will remain as it is, unlike automated backups. Okay. The main advantage of taking the backups is you can restore it in case if the instance gets failed or instance gets crashed. DBS will restore it using the snapshot. So whenever you restore their automatic backups or manual snapshots, the restored version of the database will have a new RDS instance with new DNS endpoints. Fine. Okay, this is for information. Multi-AZ, multi-availability zone. Look at the diagram. Before looking at the theory, please look at the diagram. Before looking at the theory, look at the diagram. Sudhir, what is US East 1A? It is a
Region.
exactly. What is US 1B? It is a region.
Yeah.
Okay. So by looking at the name multi-AZ, okay, it is something like sorry, it's not a region. It's an availability zone.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's not a region. It's an availability zone. Okay.
Yeah.
So US East 1A is one availability zone. US West 1B is one availability zone. Okay.
Yes.
Now you can understand here by looking at the diagram, database is getting the traffic from the web servers, isn't it? So web
Yes.
servers will try to pull the data from the database from the RDS instance, which is available in US East 1A. If this availability zone is lost, okay, if this availability zone is lost, what will happen? Generally, the application servers will not get the information, isn't it? That means users will not get the information. Okay, because of any reason, if the availability zone is lost, what this multi-AZ feature helps you is it will direct the requester to one more instance which is available in this and one more availability zone. Okay, so if this availability zone is it's something like failure policy in Route 53, so there what we have discussed in the last session. If this availability zone is, if this instance is not ready, it's not reachable, automatically it will direct to the second instance. That means these two instances should be synchronized with each other, isn't it, Sudhir? Then
Yes.
only it can happen. Okay, now look at this. Multi-AZ stands for availability zone, allows you to have exact copy of the production database in another AZ. This is one availability zone. This is one availability zone. They have exact copy in another AZ. AWS handles replication for you. Replication is nothing but synchronization, Sudhir. So we don't need to worry about synchronization. When the production database is written, that means let's say if any transaction is completing in the production database, it will also write automatically to synchronized database, or it is also called as a standby database. So at any point of time, these two databases will be in sync with each other. At any point of time, they're equal. Okay, if this instance is having 100 tables and each table is having 1000 records, here also you'll find 100 tables and each table is having 1000 records. If any new transaction is happening automatically in synchronized, this will also get updated automatically. In the event of planned database maintenance, when the clients experience downtime, if there is maintenance activity. Option 2, if there is instance failure or availability zone failure. Three scenarios. If it is a planned database maintenance, or if the database instance is failed, or the complete availability zone is failed, Amazon RDS will automatically fail over to standby. It's not manual. Automatically it fails to the standby database. So the database operations will resume quickly without administrative intervention. So you don't need DBA don't need to work out to switch to standby database. Automatically it switches to standby database. So the advantage what the client gets is there will be no downtime even if the maintenance activity is happening, if the database instance is failure or the availability zone failure happens, but still there will be no downtime. So both the DB servers will have same DNS endpoint, so there will be no connection issues at all. Clear?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, clear.
AWS RDS service handles availability zone failures also. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the second advantage. Multi AZ stands for multi availability zone failure. Vikas Sharma.
Good morning,
Good
Sunil.
morning, Vikas.
Sunil, what is the interval for logs backup actually, instance log backup?
Every fraction of a second. Okay. Again, there is no
Okay.
interval. It's synchronous, continuous. Transaction
Oh,
logs applies continuously. Because if there is again what we say, if there is any period of transaction log, let's say transaction logs applies every 2 minutes or something like that, again the 2 minutes of data will be lost when the latest transaction log is applied, isn't it? Because so it is synchronous, that means continuously transaction logs will be monitored.
okay. Okay. And one more question, please.
Yeah.
Is there any way where we can get all the detail of all paid and unpaid services of AWS, like whatever service you're using? Can we
Documentation,
assume, like, or can we check? Okay, it's there.
we have
And
to go for
is it
documentation.
like the cost of every service is different in
Mention,
different regions?
yes, region specific. Okay, so if you choose,
Okay.
or if you, for example, if you create a EC2 mentions in Mumbai region, the pricing is different. If you create EC2 instance in Sydney region, the pricing is different. Same configuration, T2
Okay.
my
All right.
whatever it is. Okay.
Okay.
So price
Thank you.
depends on the region also.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Shanta Kumar.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, in multi-AZ, the data is stored in a zone.
What data is stored in two availability zones.
Two available. So starting itself also.
Right from the beginning, when the moment when you're creating, I will see practically, we'll create an instance. When you're creating an database instance, there's an option. Do you want to enable multi-availability?
Okay,
Okay, if you enable it, automatically the next instance gets created.
okay,
And
sir.
both will be in synchronized with each other.
Okay, sir. I have one more doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Subnet. In subnet, we can create load balancer also, sir. Inside the subnet,
Okay.
we will create a load balancer.
Okay. Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
This is about second advantage. Third advantage. Read replica. Look at the term read replica. Okay. What do you mean replica? Replica is nothing but a duplicate, isn't it? Okay. It is a replica of iPhone. It is nothing but a duplicate of iPhone. Read replicas are nothing but duplicate. Okay. So look at the read replicas. This is the main instance. is the main instance. These are replicas. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all replicas. Replicas are nothing but duplicates of this database instance. Duplicates. Okay. So if this database instance is having 100 tables, obviously duplicates will also have 100 tables. And read replicas will also be synchronized with each other. So if an Oracle developer or SQL developer creates a new table, automatically read replicas gets updated. That means they will be synchronized with each other. Okay. So why these many number of duplicates? Okay. What is the use for it? And these duplicates are used for read operations. That's why they are called as read replicas. These duplicate instances are used for what operations? What operations? They are used for read operations. Okay. Are used for read operations. What do you mean by read operations? All the operations when we do it in Oracle, in RDS databases like Oracle or SQL, they are divided to two types: read operations and write operations. Technically speaking, read operations is nothing but writing the select statement to retrieve the data from the tables. Okay, write operations are nothing but the DML commands. That is nothing but the insert commands or update or delete. These are called as write operations because it makes some changes. Whereas read operations, it does not make any changes. It only pulls the data from the database and displays the data to the user who requests it. Okay. There will be no performance issues with respect to write operations. What happens when you insert few records that gets inserted? The main performance issues you'll get it when you're performing read operations, because when your select statement is pulling, it needs a lot of hardware configuration. If it is pulling 3,000, 2,000 records, that's fine. If there are thousands of records needs to be retrieved, okay, if thousands of records needs to be retrieved, it consumes a lot of hardware configuration. So and then when there are many users performing read operations, try to understand. For example, I want to I log into my internet banking. I want to have 1 year statement, bank statement of 1 year. 1 year is nothing but from April, the 1st April to 31st March. I want 1 year of my statement in the form of PDF because I want to perform IT returns. So my chartered accountant will ask for the statement of 1 year. So I select this. I want a statement from so and so month to so and so, and then the get PDF. There's an option called get PDF or download PDF, isn't it? That's what we do it. The moment you click on download PDF, it will pull the data. Your select statement gets executed according to the values what you have entered. It will pull the data from the table. Like me, there will be 1,000 users connected to my ICICI Bank internet banking. There are many users retrieving the data from the database. The complete load it should handle. So when there are multiple users, when there are concurrent users are many, and most of the time when they are at a time when they are using a lot of read operations, the performance issues will encountered. And then RDS service provides a solution for this kind of performance issues with respect to especially read operations by concept of read replicas. Okay. So what happens is the request of the read request is nothing but select statements which we are getting it from the users. And now, instead of processing all the select statement by the actual instance, that select statements will be diverted to the read replicas, because even the read replicas is having the data. So read replicas will take that particular request of the select statement, and read replicas will respond to the request rather than the complete load taken by the actual instance. Read replicas will also take the load. That's why they are called as read replicas. That's why they're called as read replicas. Look at the theory. Read replicas allows you have to have a read-only copy of the production database. What copy? Read-only copy. This is achieved by asynchronous replication. It has a replication primary DNS to the read replica. So all these are in replication. That means in synchronization. You use read replicas primary for very read-heavy database workloads. It is not used for scaling. You're not increasing the infrastructure. Okay, you're not increasing the capacity. It's not used for disaster recovery. It's only used for heavy read operations. You can have 5 read replicas of any database, max the number of read replicas. You can have read replicas of read replicas. That's okay. Each read replica will have its own endpoint, but the main purpose of the read replicas is to distribute the read loads so that the performance issues will not encounter for the end users. This is read replicas. These are the three important advantages a client gets when they choose RDS service for hosting their database instances. Okay, automatic backups, multi-availability zone, and read replicas. That's it. Yes, Vijay. Good morning, Vijay. I can see your hand raised. Your question, please. We cannot hear you. You need to unmute and talk.
Yeah. Hi.
Yes, Vijay. Good morning.
Good morning. Actually, there is no question. It's automatically raised hand. Um, Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Sandhya Rani. Any question? No questions. Yes, Aditya.
Morning, Sunil.
Good morning.
Yeah. Sunil, in availability zone failure, the option we have, do we have
Multi-availability zone failure.
multi-availability zone? So is there any regional failure option also we have?
No,
If suppose
it's
any
only for availability zone failures.
region failure will not work. Right?
No, no.
At that time,
There's no solution for regional failure. As of now. Okay.
okay.
Sri. Good morning. Sorry, I cannot hear you.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. I have two questions. Good morning for that. So first thing is for the availability zones itself. So when we create the backups, is it like snapshot or any automatic? So no matter, so these snapshots are not available for specific to availability zone, right? So it will be available for all the availability zones in that particular region. Is my understanding correct? For example, if we have East 1A and East 1B.
East
So
1A is one availability zone.
Yeah, is one an availability
East
zone.
1B is also one availability zone.
Yeah. So I have created a snapshot. So that
You have
snapshot
created
will
a snapshot.
be, yeah,
That snapshot will be not local to availability zones. That snapshot will be available to the region
yeah.
level.
Okay, yeah, at the region level. So it's not at the across the regions.
Local
It's
to no,
only
not
for the
across the
particular
region,
region.
only
Okay,
within the
okay,
region.
okay. Okay, and another question is for the read replicas. If we have 5 read replicas, okay. So and I have a database update transactions. Okay, I am updating some database.
Okay.
So in that case, when I
Read
post the
replicas will also
transaction,
get updated.
so that
automatically.
means when I post the transaction, so that will have the impact on my and the response time also, because it has to update 5 database
Yes, you are
instances,
right.
right?
So
So
that is an extra. It's an overload for the RDS instance to whatever the database is getting updated. The read replicas should also get updated, isn't it?
So it will be for updated at every transaction, or it will in the background it will update.
Synchronously in the background it
Okay,
gets updated.
okay.
Okay, so it takes some time. Okay, so but still, but to overcome the heavy read operations, this is the solution what RDS provides. Okay,
So that definitely impacts the response
the
time. That's what.
performance response time of what when there are any changes done to the databases. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's something like indexes, where we have, isn't it? In index, whenever index is created, even those indexes should get updated when the rows increases, isn't it? Am I right?
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
similar to it.
It will automatically
Handles it.
apply all the RDBMS rules also, right? Like auto indexing or whenever a transaction
Everything is
happens,
applied. Everything
everything
is
will be
done.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Okay. So let's experience this. The services we have database, and database we have RDS. All these features, multi-availability zone, read replicas, okay, these are all paid features. The moment you enable it, you get billing. Under services, so we have databases. Under database we have RDS. Okay, this is the RDS dashboard. Looks like right now there are no instances, 0 instances. Go for databases. No instances. There is no database instances found. Okay, so like EC2 instances, you are getting database instances here. So you can create the instance whatever you want. So I want to create a database instance. Create database. So go for standard create, and here you need to select the product, which instance you want. The moment you select a product, the billing will start. So to avoid the billing, I'm going with MySQL because it's an open source and free one. I'm selecting MySQL instance. Which version you want, you need to select it. I want only options which are related to free tier. So that's the reason I want only free tier. I want only free tier options. Name of the database. MyDB instance. Username. Master username of the database. I want to have same main name, password. I want to maintain the same. T2 micro instances. That means these DB instances comes with 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU. That's the only instance which is available for free tier. Why these options are grayed out? Because they are paid versions. As I have selected free tier options, I will only get free tier options. The grayed out options are paid options. Okay, so it comes with 20 GB of storage. Okay, scroll down. Multi-AZ feature, you have to enable it. Right now it is grayed out because it's paid option. And then do you want public access? That means you want everybody to connect. Okay, let's say I want public access. Creating a new security group. That's okay. I can select existing security group. That's not a problem. In which availability zone you want, you can select it. No preference. Here you have an option called you can see the billing information. Okay, The RDS free trial is available for 12 months. Okay. So these are the limitations of the RDS instances. To know more about the free trial limitations, to know more about the pricing, you can select this. And I am creating the database instance. So this will take some time. It's creating. So let's wait for the database instances to get created. Good morning, Rahman.
Yeah, hi Sunil.
How are you?
I'm doing good, Sunil. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Yeah, actually, my question is regarding that Bastion, Sunil.
Bastion server.
Yeah, in VPC, actually, we created a Bastion, right?
The concept of Bastion server is helping the DBS to connect to the DB instance.
Yes. Actually, in that, you copied a PEM file to Bastion host, right?
Yeah, yes, you are right.
WinSCP.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to connect the WinSCP, Sunil, but I'm getting some issues. So, can you just let me know how you connected? What user password you used in that case?
What is the issue you're getting?
I'm not able to log into that WinSCP with using any password.
That means you're not able to connect to the Bastion server.
Yeah, I'm able to log into the Bastion host.
From the Bastion server, you are not able to connect to DB instance.
Yeah. No, we need to copy that PEM file, right, to Bastion host.
Yeah, you need to transfer this. Just drag and drop.
Yeah. Actually, we can simply drag and drop from.
So you will have two frames, right? Left side one frame and right side one frame, right?
Right side one is not opening for me. That is the issue. So actually, on that day you connected, right, using WinSCP?
Yeah, I have connected. Look at the
So what credentials you used in that case? That is the thing I want to know.
So it is mentioned in the notes, right?
Oh, can you just let me know that thing? It will be helpful to me.
Okay, I will come back to it. Let this
Okay,
this create.
Yeah. Yeah, please proceed. Thank you.
You're from which location, Raymond?
Actually, I'm from AP, Vijayawada.
Okay, fine. How many years of experience?
I have 6+ years of experience.
In which platform?
Oracle DBA.
Oh, this is your specialization.
Yes.
Okay, so in case if DBS wants to get if the let's say for example if a client wants to migrate to cloud, okay, then you need to focus on these instances. These
Yeah.
Otherwise, not.
Yes, Sunil.
Oracle DBA here.
Yeah. Oracle DBA.
Okay. You also know Oracle Apps DBA?
No, I am a pure Oracle Core DBA.
Core DBA.
With the rack knowledge, RS.
Oh, you already have rack exposure.
Yeah.
Very good. I think Oracle is becoming pure autonomous, isn't it, Rahman?
Yes. Actually, we're moving to Exadata now.
Yeah. Okay. You know Exadata?
No, recently we got some requests to migration. So we're working on Exadata migration.
So you know AWS, Rahman, or is the first time you're learning?
Not exactly, Sunil, but just I'm planning to learn AWS. That's why I'm learning your classes. It's really good. It's really helping a lot to understanding AWS.
You're attending right from beginning?
Yeah, from beginning I'm attending this 75 batch.
Oh, very good. How do you got to know about this?
Yeah, really good, Sunil.
How do you know about
actually, I got message in one of the groups.
Okay.
WhatsApp group. I mean, it's actually Oracle DB group.
Oracle DB.
So in that, someone shared this link to join. So I'm just joined that one.
Okay. How is your learning experience? Is it good?
It's going good, Sunil.
DB instance will take some time for the get created. Okay. So here we have automated backups. So every day the backup will be created automatically, and here you will find the list of all the automatic backups. So here you can see here. See, one backup is already created, number one. Tomorrow, if you see, there will be second backup. Day after tomorrow, there will be third backup. Okay. So these are called as automatic backups. Okay. And if the DBA takes this backup manually, they are called as snapshots. Those snapshots will be available here. Right now, there are no snapshots because we have not taken a manual backup. So automatically, when you create an instance, an automatic backup will be triggered automatically. You can see one automatic backup. And this is the actual instance, which is up and running. Okay. Current connections, 0 connections, CPU utilization 6%. Good morning, Kiran.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Kiran. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, sir. Fine. Actually, sir, I have one doubt. Just now we discussed about multi-zone.
Multi-availability zone.
Multi-zone. Sir, can we consider it as a DR, disaster recovery?
Yeah, you can consider it. Okay, but it does not handle regional failures. You can consider it as disaster recovery specific to availability zone failure. Okay.
Sir, is there any topic on the disaster recovery in this AWS? Because
yeah, there is a special survey. There is a disaster recovery solutions provided by AWS, because I don't know, because I'm not from the DBA. You are from DBA, Kiran?
No, sir. This disaster recovery. No, sir. Actually, I am from networking background.
Okay.
But we have SAP servers, all this. That's why I know this.
You can consider that as a disaster recovery. Okay. Which one? The second instance, which is available in the multi-availability zone, because they are always in synchronized with each other. It handles availability zone failures. Okay.
Okay.
Isn't it?
But in this disaster recovery is a different topic.
There is a different topic. Even I don't know that, but there is a disaster recovery concept in RDS. Okay.
Okay. That is my doubt. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Now the instance is available. So automatically when backup is available here, tomorrow if you check it, there will be second backup. Okay, so like this, all the backups will be available here. So whenever you want to restore, assuming this instance is crashed, so what the DBS will do, they go to automatic backup and they select the latest backup, and then they go to actions and they restore. Okay, so I'm not sure why it is not probably just now we have created. It will take some time to the backup to be available. So that's how you can restore it from here. So that's the first option. Okay. These are not required. Yeah. Snapshots are nothing but manual backups. You can see the snapshots, which in case if you take how to take the manual backup, select the instance actions. There's an option called take snapshot. Okay, this is called manual backup. The moment you take snapshot, I'll not take it because it's not required. The moment you take a snapshot, that snapshot will be available here. Okay, once the snapshot is available here, select the snapshot, and then you can have an option to restore the snapshot so that you can restore the instance from the snapshot. So it's all just a click and go. So all the options are pretty simple. Okay, so that's about snapshots. Next, we have an option called restore snapshot, so that gets created. Okay, you can also copy snapshot to a different region. Okay, you can also copy a snapshot to a different region. Now client says that I want the same instance to be available in Sydney region. Okay, So if there are DBS, you can know that. So if they want the same instance to be available in the region, here you can, what you have to do, you have to take the snapshot and then the copy snapshot, like how you have copied Amazon machine images. I hope you remember, from one region to other region, we have an option of copy snapshots. When you select copy snapshot, it will be, you need to mention the destination region. The snapshot will be available in the destination right there. Once the snapshot is available in the destination region, you can restore the instance. So that's how, all these are the advantages what the client gets it when they go for RDS instances. Okay. Next, multi-availability zones. Okay. In the database, you have an option where you can enable multi-availability zone. Okay. Modify. Multi-availability zone. Okay, we have not enabled it. The moment you click on enable it, you need to select which availability zone you need to select it, and according to that, the multi-availability zone gets activated. Okay, so I have just shown you how exactly this multi-availability zone happens. Okay. Okay. The read replicas. So here we have an option of read replicas also. So how can we create read replicas after multi-availability zone? Look at this retention period. Okay, number of days the backup will be maintained. By default, it is 7 days. The maximum number of days are 35 days. The default days generally 7 days. Okay, backup window, the period where you want the backups to be created automatically. So that's about backup window. And then read replicas option. Probably okay. We have selected free tier instance. That's the reason you're not getting read replica option here. Monitoring configuration. Somewhere there's an option of read replica. Replications. Okay, in the actions you have read replicas. Fine. Not in the modify actions. Yeah, read replica. So you can create the read replica. Okay. So like this, these are the 3 important points you need to keep in mind. Okay, and then after you create the instance, it's better to delete it. Okay. So select the ratify. There's an option called deletion. Actions. There's an option called deleting. Do you want to take a snapshot before deleting? Not required. I acknowledge. This is just exposure towards the RDS instances. As an AWS certified associate level, you should know the solutions what AWS provides with respect to the database instances. This is service with respect to RDS, so relational databases. So nowadays there are no NoSQL databases, right? For this, there's a DynamoDB is a different service for NoSQL databases to handle NoSQL databases. Isn't it, Rahman? I think there are latest versions of database are NoSQL. Am I right?
Yeah, yes.
Not the relational one. There are NoSQL databases like MongoDB. Am I right?
Yes.
So AWS provides a solution for those kind of hosting NoSQL databases by using DynamoDB service. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So with this, we have completed the primary services of all. These are the primary services. Okay. So there are few more services which are pending for completing of our batch. Okay. So the list of services which to be discussed, these are all pretty small services: Cloud Trial, Cloud Watch. Okay, simple notification service, simple queuing service, and cloud formation. These are all pretty small topics: cloud formation, elastic beanstalk, and then migration service, Snowball, uh, Cloud Trial, Cloud Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are set of services to be discussed. All these services will take 2 days. Is more than enough. Okay, so 2 more sessions will help us to complete all these services. Okay, Cloud Watch, Cloud Trial, Cloud Formation. Yeah. That's it. Okay. So with this, we will be completing the batch. So there are 2 more sessions pending to complete the batch. Okay. As per my promise, there are 25 sessions. So we are close to today's 21st session. Close to 23 sessions will be there. Okay, this is more than enough. These are the primary services which you need to focus on. Still deleted. Once it is deleted, automatic backups will also be deleted. Okay. Babat. Good evening. Babatunde.
Hi, good evening. Am I audible?
You are very clear.
Yeah. A question. This is multi-AZ, which is a availability zone. So for this RDS, there is no option of having the standby in another region.
Yeah, it's only within the other availability zone, not not outside the region.
So to my own knowledge, then we can, well, we can say the second standby, the standby is a DR. Well, because it is within the same region. What if
So
there's a disaster in that region?
in that case, as one of our friends said, there is completely a different service for disaster recovery. Okay. So you need to, there are special services for disaster recovery where you need to select a DR recovery site in a different region, and then synchronization happens across regions. Okay, that's a different.
Because we having some issues, not like an issue in environments where we telling the clients this is not a good solution. We have a database
You are
and the
right. You are right.
ADG in the same storage.
Client wants a solution for regional failures. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So this multi-AZ failure is not for regional failures. It can handle only availability zone failures. Okay. For regional failures, as you know, you need to select different disaster recovery services. Okay. Even
Okay,
I'm not
that's
sure
another
what are those
services, right?
services which handles disaster recovery.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
For
Babat.
the rest of the topic, then we shall will cover that in 2 days. Though I've used the snowball, I
Oh, you
help
already
my
used Snowball?
yeah, I help
Wow.
my company to migrate from data from on-prem
So did you use Snow Mobile or Snowball Edge?
Snowball Edge. I use both. There is Snowball itself, but it's out. They're not using the Snowball anymore.
Now it's everybody is
So
using
now
Snowball Edge.
Snowball Edge. So the first time I used the Snowball, and the second time I used the Snowball Edge. Just a little.
How is your
different.
experience? I think it's something similar to an external hard drive, isn't it?
Yeah, is a like a box. They ship it to the client location. So we connect to the network, and you give an IP. You take an IP from your network. Then to use that, you need to install the AWS CLI. So, and you also need the access key. And there's another one which is called the manifest file. So both, you use both in connecting to the Snowball, then you can copy data to the Snowball. Then after that, you disconnect and send back to AWS. AWS will copy the data to your company's S3 bucket. So from that point again, I copied from the S3 buckets to the respective database in AWS environment.
Good experience.
Yeah. In fact, when they said they need to copy Snowball, I didn't know what is Snowball. Even our lead, because we are Linux, we don't know much about AWS. I just Google how to use the Snowball, and I got the documentation from AWS. Then I followed
the documentation. Good.
Yeah.
Good. How is the learning experience, Batatunde?
This is so great. In fact, it's so straightforward. I follow all the time, and I used to do the hands-on. At least I give myself an hour after the class to do hands-on. So, and I have the recording, so even if I forget something, I can go back to read.
Thank you for your feedback.
Thank you for everything.
That's it. As planned, we have completed exposure towards RDS instances. I have deleted the instances. Now there are no instances found, and the automatic backups will also be deleted automatically. Okay. So once it is done, then you can log out. Okay. So the next thing what we need to discuss is about cloud trial, which will not plan for today. I want to plan it for tomorrow. Yes, generally we will not have sessions on Saturday, but still we will have session tomorrow where I want to discuss about cloud trial, cloud watch, queuing services, notification services. Okay, so let's discuss those topics for our tomorrow's session. Okay, so before ending, one participant, I forgot what's his name. It's pretty simple. WinSP details are pretty simple. You
Okay, Sunil.
Rahman, you have asked me the question, right?
Yes.
Provide the hostname, username, and then go to advanced tab. Did you provide that authentication? I think you need to provide that PPK file. Okay. Please go through the recording. Just follow that. Okay. And then you will be that files will be available here in the right side window. Okay. Maybe select this particular root directory. Then you'll get the option where you have to transfer the files. Okay.
Okay. I will.
And you can drag and drop like this. Select the machine and drag and drop. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all, and see tomorrow where we will discuss about many more miscellaneous services. Thank you. Bye, everybody.